I have a long history with credit unions. When I moved here to the United States in the 90s for my master's, after I finished that in Albany, New York, I came here to California, and the company that I used to work had a deal with Patelco. So since the 90s, I have an account with Patelco. And when I moved back to Brazil, I still kept the account. And when I moved back here to the United States 3.5 years ago, I opened an account with First Tech. I got a lot of products, and very recently, I got my home loan approved last week. So thank you so much for that. And of course, there was a lot of analytics to get me approved. And by working with a credit score industry, I was part of Equifax for some years. I understand what goes behind the scene. That's a lot. And on analytics, we say that there are 3 kinds of professionals in the analytics world. First type of professionals are those who are waiting for things to happen and just keep observing to see what's going on. Very important because they wait and they support and they provide feedback to what is happening. There's one important group are what we call the doers, the makers. The folks who go there, no matter how hard it is to produce something, they roll up their sleeves and they get things done. They sweat. Data is not pristine. Okay, we make data pristine. We don't have all the tools. We don't care. We go there and do whatever we want. We bootstrap from there. Oh yeah, business don't understand. Let's go there and talk to business and get some sponsors to approve what we need. And there are those that just keep waiting to see and see and see, and they lose tremendous opportunities. So a moment of reflection. What kind of data and analytics professional you are for your organization? There are companies who realize that if I have a great business model and if I apply analytics properly, what I can do, I can provide a better experience for my customers, I can raise profitability, I can drive more revenue, I can provide a transformation to my business. And some of those companies here, they're able to do that. Macy's is outperforming the retail industry. Great online, offline, omnichannel strategy, and use analytics to drive those changes. Netflix, they are disrupting the cable industry. I cut my cable TV last year. And guess what? I'm much happier because I watched what I want, the time I want, traveling the hotels anywhere in the world. And that is happening to those companies. And guess what? There are a lot of companies who apply quite great models on analytics. They are data-driven, but they do not able to succeed. Let's take Zynga, who was a great company, was doing quite well on the gaming industry, but they forgot to see that mobile was picking up. They didn't have a great strategy for mobile. Great analytics, what they did, but they didn't have a great strategy for mobile. Let's say Tesco, great supermarket chain from the United Kingdom, one of the first to really develop a very powerful strategy for fidelity cards. They didn't see the crisis coming in. They started losing a lot of customers because they didn't have other offerings for their customers. And Blockbuster, who was on the 90s, they were really, really good on business intelligence, but they didn't see the streaming coming out. They didn't see the revolution coming up on technology. So, lesson number 1, analytics is great, but it's not sufficient to drive results. If you don't have great market strategy, product strategy, financial strategy, sales strategy, you are doomed. So necessary, but not sufficient. So I'm not about here with some changes that are happening in this market, and above all, how you can apply real-time analytics for your digital transformation. That is coming. That's what I see businesses like you, the credit unions, who are there competing with the large sharks, companies who are much larger than you guys, and at the same time on the bottom of the pyramid, new companies, new business models that are coming for crowdfunding, and things like that, what you react on that. And what real-time analytics can be a change for the business that you are conducting, okay? So, long time ago, when people used to need some reports, they would go to a central location and ask some reports to a central location, type of KGB model. Whatever you want to do, you'll have to go to that central location and ask permission to use the data. Yeah, this is history, but unfortunately, a lot of companies are still in that model. I arrived in California yesterday from Seattle, had a chance to visit some customers in the area. They're doing great work. But guess what? Some of them are still on this old model here, or doing everything for their users. And it doesn't work because you create a huge bottleneck in the central location. That's not the smartest move to do if you want to change the culture to be more and more data-driven. And on the analytics spectrum, there is a process that you go from data to the most important thing, which is the action. Okay? And the process go, okay, I have the data. What do I have to do with this data to answer a few questions? And the question is, what happened? Why something happened in the past? What I should do for something to happen? And what will drive my next actions? And you have some human input as part of all those processes here, and you have the decision. That decision will drive actions to your business. In this framework of asking what happened, why it happened, what will happen, and what I should do for something to happen, the framework of analytics. And the more down to this image here you go, more decision support you put and less human interaction you put on the process. And that's why there's been a lot of discussions out there like, okay, will my job exist in the years to come? What do I have to do in order to sustain my position? Are machines going to dominate the world? I will not be that catastrophic, but yes, some jobs will be just wiped out as machines, as software becomes much better, much easier to program, analytics becomes part of life, and decision process becomes much more automated per se. I don't see every job disappearing, not at all, but as typists, as like people that had some roles that disappeared throughout time to technology, that will happen with this analytics world as well. The most important thing is, if you really want to succeed in analytics, you have to think what kind of questions you're answering for your business. And the more guidance you give for your users on what they should be doing in a more automated process that you put, the better you're going to be to succeed on analytics in the long run. So, I was the 7th Chief Data Officer in the world. Chief Data Officers are professionals who are helping 3 things inside companies. That the data is treated as a strategic asset, so the data has quality, is well managed. Number 2, driving the analytics adoption. And number 3, helping the business to become more and more digital. I was the 7th in 2010 when I was first appointed to this role. At the end of 2014, there were 400 professionals in the world with the title of Chief Data Officer. As of today, end of February 2016, there are more than 1,200 individuals who have these roles. Formally appointed Chief Data Officers. And by 2019, the end of the year, we are predicting that 90% of the large organizations will have a Chief Data Officer appointed. And not just the largest organizations, but the smaller organizations will have people as well with this kind of role. Responsible for, make sure data is pristine. Number 2, drive the analytics adoption throughout the business in all the areas. And number 3, driving the digital transformation. And one very important fact. Today, 50% of the chief data officers are folded into IT. They report to the CIO or to someone in the technology department. By 2019, that equation will change. We were going to have 80% of CDOs reporting to business, to a CEO, to a COO, to the marketing executive, or to the CFO. Okay? Data and analytics is business. It's not IT per se. Of course, there is a tremendous interaction between the office of the chief data officer and the CIO to help business succeed. But the role of the chief data officer and his or her team is to make sure that they're addressing what business expects from the data. One important fact. Today, if you are a CIO, there are only 15% of women are CIOs. On CDOs, 50% of the CDOs are women. So if you're a woman and you want to succeed on the C-level suite, you have a higher probability to succeed if you are a chief data officer than a chief information officer. I belong to a group at Gartner that is responsible to write research for chief data officers. My mission is to help chief data officers to succeed, or to help individuals who want to become chief data officers to step up in that role, or I guide CEOs and CFOs and other executives that they want to create data organizations and how they should create that, what kind of leader they should be appointing. So that's what I do inside Gartner. It's fun. Get paid to help other people to succeed. That's a very, very fun job. So in terms of the modern business analytics, there are a few things happening today. We talk about big data and this explosion of data there, variety, volume, different data sources, especially for the credit union and the financial services. What kind of new data sources I should be plugging in to get a better credit scores? There's a very interesting company in Germany called Credit Tech. They are getting social media data to compute credit scores. That's a disruptor for me. In terms of cloud computing allows you guys that are smaller to have the same technology as the largest banks, paying the same price. Allows you guys to have agility to perform what you need to do. In terms of mobile, what's the impact of wearable devices to your business? What's the impact of connected cars to your business in terms of what you do with insurance or activities like that? Are you thinking about that? What's happening with this when things start to, every object in the world starts to have an IP address to send data, what's going to be the impact for your business? And above all, the new tools that exist out there for you to democratize the access of information, to provide ways for the users to tap into the data, to find new patterns. How are you going to deploy that? And of course, we talk about, okay, this is everything, generate better decisions for our business. But you guys were here on this conference, which I was very surprised by the size and the number of attendees. For me, it's about business transformation. You should not just be helping your business to analyze the data. No. You are an agent of change. So when you go back to your lives, your regular lives, after Thursday, Friday, next week, start to deploy that. Start questioning the business. Start driving some change in your organization. Because at the end of the day, everyone here is responsible for that transformation for your company to become more and more data-driven. It is not a technology problem at all. Technology is commodity. It is about a transformation in terms of culture, in terms of change that you're applying, in terms of new skills that I have to bring on board, what I will do different to rationalize my company. There's a concept that we talk at Gartner, it's called data gravity. We always receive those inquiries about, okay, should I move my data to the cloud when I start using analytics? Should I use cloud computing? Should I use on-premises? And the best answer is, it depends. Depends on what regulations you have to follow, what is your current model. What we have seen so far, and the rule of the thumb is, if your applications are just on premises, make sure that if you're going to start using cloud computing, you have to transfer data through the cloud. If you have large volumes, that might work. So the data gravity here is if you have everything on premises, yeah, make sure to start going on premises. But if you have some applications on premise, some applications on the cloud, you're still familiar with cloud computing, why not start to deploy those new applications on the cloud? Might give you a faster time to market. Yeah, but in our credit union, our users do not feel the benefit of the cloud. They think it's not secure. Okay, anonymize your data. Make sure that the data that you're going to bring to the cloud, they cannot be identified to a specific individual or a specific business, that you can at least apply some of the computing power that exists on players such as Amazon, Microsoft, or IBM, that you can really, really do some things faster and cheaper and better than you are currently doing for your business. And there's this struggle today on the vendors. There are a lot of vendors out there, such as I told Microsoft, IBM, MicroStrategy, that they were companies that were created 50 years ago, 10 years ago, 40 years ago, that are on the process of adapting themselves to the cloud. They could do that much faster, but that will disrupt some of the numbers that they have to provide to Wall Street. They are passing through a lot of those changes as well. On the other side of the equation, you have companies that were built on the cloud. Salesforce, Tableau, Good Data. And their financial models on how they operate, they are totally prepared for this new world. Again, what I see on this market today is a lot of those traditional players, they are adapting very, very fast to this new world of cloud computing. A lot of those other companies that were born in this world of cloud computing, some of them are struggling, and some of them will get bought out by those large monsters that exist. Okay? When I look at the map of technology vendors that exist in this market today for cloud computing and analytics, I see too many vendors. It's impossible for all of them to succeed in the years to come. So expect major consolidation in this sector. What's the recommendation here? Before you go in a major initiative with a vendor, make sure that you understand the roadmap for that vendor. Stress a lot of your discussions. Make sure that you're betting on the vendor that's going to be there for the long run. Okay? And we are talking about how you can be smarter with business analytics. And what's happening today with this world, with a lot of data and information, is that it becomes impossible for you to look at the table to analyze everything. That's why we saw in the last couple of years explosions for data visualization tools, because that's the only way the human brain can make sense on this world of data. Okay? And also, companies are starting to use concepts such as machine learning, advanced analytics, natural language processing to deal with this data that's non-structured. Okay? So it's important for every company today that's dealing with data, that they should be doing things right and manage the data that they have, delivering what the business expects. But it's very important that part of the budget should be dedicated to pilots, to proof of concepts, to do some things that are very innovative, that you might fail. Some of the initiatives you might fail, but that's okay. You will learn from that failure, and you're going to do better next time. Because by doing something that no one has done before on your business, on your industry, you might generate some disruption that will put you in a different level for competition. Okay? And that's what I mean about business analytics. Using all those concepts that exist out there to deliver better results, and above all, to deliver transformation. And the role of the Chief Data Officer, the top senior data and analytics leader, is to drive that, to have the right people with the skills that are great for the day-to-day operation, but that think outside the box. They're going to be bringing new ideas, new concepts, challenge the business, engage the users to do things differently in order to achieve success. So in the old world that we still live today, part of organizations, it's about dashboards, metrics, KPIs. It's about having everything centralized under that IT organization. You do a lot of things that we're looking at the past, just a few things on giving guidance. You do a lot of things that are very traditional, publishing, reporting, and everything. On this new world of analytics that technology exists, process you can change. There are people out there who dominate those techniques. It's about on using this visualization, free form, empowering the users to do their own analytics and reporting, and they come to you for more complex initiatives or for more complex modeling. And applying new concepts, testing new tools, testing new vendors that exist out there to drive this innovation. So that's the change that we are seeing as of today in this new world of smart data discovery. As we talk about disruption, there are a few things that need to put in place or you won't be able to succeed. And I'll start with the most important thing for any organization. People. We are not treating our most important assets on the right way. I see companies with great skills. They bring a set of data scientists, of people who are very, very knowledgeable on data, and they put those people to clean data, to do some data cleansing. What a waste of time. You're not doing yourself a favor, and you're not doing your company a favor, and you're not doing those individuals a favor. Those people leave. Okay? Data cleansing is important. Yeah, of course data cleansing is important, but put to do some data cleansing, not your data scientists who understand about linear regression. No, no, no. Focus those people to do linear regression, time series, whatever, but don't put them to do data cleaning, okay, and data cleansing. Try to understand what skills you have, what skills you need in the future. Try to build your roadmap on how you're going to train your current people for new challenges. Because they're in your company, they have a history that should be used. Mix people with different backgrounds. When I was in Equifax, I had the privilege to have people that work for me, some with computer science background, some with physics, production engineering, some people with advertisement background, some people that were like a philosophy background. And guess what? I didn't put the people with philosophy to do data science, but I put them for the storytelling, for interacting with the users, more in the role of business analysts. Okay? People is a very important asset. Business value. It's very, very important for you to create a roadmap, a data strategy that will take you from point A to point B throughout time, and what programs you're going to be implementing as time goes by, what you're going to be focusing on, what kind of return you're going to be delivering to business. Business just understand one thing, money. So, in data, there are 3 dimensions. You have to make your data safe. That data needs to be generating benefits for cost and efficiency, and that data should be driving new revenue for the company. So align your data analytics strategy with how much money you're saving, how much money you're bringing, or how much money you're avoiding for any risks. Process. You can have best people, you have your data strategy, but if you don't change the process inside your company for those benefits, you're not being very, very efficient on using the data. Long time ago, there was an area in organizations, the older people might remember, called OEM, dealing with methods and everything. And we don't talk about that much today. Process is very, very important on how you to define the business owners for those processes. And technology. I like to say, don't let your data analytics strategy to be driven by a technology vendor. Don't. Define what you want, then you start talking to vendors to present, okay, this is my plan here. How can you help me to integrate my plan? How your technology, how your products can support my transition here. As I said, technology is commodity. Price has dropped down tremendously throughout the years. And if you combine all those things, your data strategy, your people, changing process, technology, then you'll be able to achieve results. Now, let's talk a little bit about this evolution for real-time analytics. And digital business is still evolving. When we look at what happened in the last 25 years in terms of how the internet became pervasive in our lives, it's amazing. How could we survive without a cell phone? How could we survive without Google Maps to give us directions? How did we take cars without Uber before, right? How did we take pictures and we used to go to the shops that they print our pictures for us? 25 years, we have come a lot. And guess what? The next 10 years is going to be even more amazing as our devices become smarter, as analytics becomes pervasive in our way of living. And what we're talking about today is the transition from this digital marketing to the digital business as a whole, and what we at Gartner call this algorithms business, the algorithm economy. What's that? What's the algorithm business or algorithm economy? Basically, it is, if you have data, but if you don't have intelligence to apply on your process, what is good at that? But then you have program, software, intellectual property that you have created for your business, but you don't have data to empower that, there's no good. It's like having an engine without fuel. So the combination between data and the intellectual property that you're going to be generating for your business, that's going to be driving a much faster process to approve loans, a much faster process to detect frauds, much faster process to provide for someone in the call center to offer a new product or to allow that person to waive a fee for someone who's a very profitable customer. That will make the difference at the end of the day. And what I say is, buy technology that is commodity and invest wisely in create technology that's going to be generating something that's unique for your business, that will generate differentiation for you. Okay? Don't invest millions of dollars to create the best payroll system. Not smart. But create an efficiency on a process that you're going to be able to use several different data sources for credit approval. They're going to be able to do it much faster than your competitors. Okay? And the right time and real time for analytics, it will depend on the scenario that you're tapping into. So if you want something that's high volume trading or security fraud detection, yeah, you should invest in technology and process to make it happen in real time. If you're asking more something like, someone told me here about mergers and acquisition, buy a new company, yeah, probably you don't need real time there. It's because more and more you bring a process to become real time, that means that you have to invest in technology, in high skill development for that to happen, and it costs a lot to make it run. So the business case has to be really, really well defined for real time analytics. Some applications, they will have a payoff. Some of them, they won't. And again, real time, it varies from company to company, and the appetite for your C-level executives, how much willing they want to invest on this business here. And the algorithm business is very, very attached to this real-time decision process here. Okay? So, long time ago, when we need to do analytics, guess what we have to do? We got the data from the transactions. The transactions would feed business applications. We extract the data from those business applications to a database. We did some ETL. We put that on a data warehouse. For the data warehouse, we did some more extraction. We generated a data mart. Then we apply analytics. Very structured, very controlled. Guess what? It takes a long time. It's too expensive. Business didn't see the result of that. That's why a lot of business intelligence projects failed before, because it was too costly. Of course you need control. Of course you need governance to make things happen. But when I look like that, I see complexity. I see every box that I see here, I see a technology vendor. I see a lot of people involved. The payoff might take a long. So we start bringing new technology to market, and we exchange some of those boxes here on the right side by in-memory process machines. So the transactions will be feeding directly in-memory servers that will have the ability to process data much faster and to generate results. Yeah? We have some results here. We are shortening the life cycle to deliver value to business. But that's not okay. When we talk about real time, guess what? We tap into the stream of flow of data that's been generated in the transactions, and we feed them directly that they can be analyzed in real time. So all anti-fraud solutions nowadays are being used this kind of engine. And how this kind of engine can be used for your loan approval process, for you to generate new offerings real time. When I go to the website and I'm checking my balance online, that automatically you could get some patterns for the purchases that I did the day before and try to offer me something else up there. So that's what this new generation that we call CEP, Complex Event Processing, that are happening today to drive the speed. So real-time analytics can be applied to certain areas inside your companies, from the customer service, ability to do cross-sell, to check credit, do some actions that are transform your business. The point is, do we have to do real-time analytics for every application? Of course not. That's going to be impossible, a little bit too costly. But select a few that you see that if you apply some principles a little bit different, that can have impact in the bottom line. Bottom line is you become more efficient, or you can bring extra revenue to your business. Okay? And above all, try to think about this engine, this decision engine, that's going to be your algorithm, that's going to be something so unique for you that you're going to be developed, that's going to be your own intellectual property. And that decision-making component will be using data that you have or that you're going to get from your partners that will going to speed up that decision process, and they're going to be driving to action. And try to automate as much as you can in this process. Less human interference here is the better. Okay? I know that some process it's going to be impossible. I understand that. But try to pick up the brains of the people that are involved on there to see how you can automate that. Because that's going to be the differentiation for your business in the long run. And think about how you can create an analytics infrastructure that's not dependent on any application per se. That's going to be cross for all the applications that you're going to be developing for your company. Think of that. What can I do to have one standard platform for my credit union that I can start plugging all the applications in there, that I have all the data being consumed for a central location, that I have this ability to bring new offerings to my stakeholders much faster, because everything is going to be centralized, well managed, with governance, data pristine, with quality, that I have models that I can develop up from there. Okay? And it will allow you to process more data, faster, better, with lower cost of developing. It will allow you to apply automation principles to that decision process that you have. And one thing that I noticed, it happened to me when I was a chief data officer, and it happened to all companies that I observe today. As you get better on that, your organization starts to develop a learning mode, and the second project goes much faster, much better than the first one. And the third goes much better and faster. And all of a sudden, you have created this movement inside your business that your users see the benefit of that, and they are willing to give their budget for you to develop something for them. So the decision process tends to be much faster than human beings, and the errors that happen here, if you program well, they tend to go to zero. The decision automation process tends to be very consistent, and you can apply a lot of auditing through that. So in terms of when we have to respect compliance rules, and I know that part of your day today is spending on dealing with risk managers and compliance managers, it helps out as well. And it allows you to offload the people that you have today that are doing rework on things that are not adding value, that you might be able to bring those people closer to the business or closer to your members, that you can provide better services for them. So at the end of the day, what you're talking about real-time analytics is a matter of being more efficient, of doing more activities with better resources, that you're going to be able to succeed. How you put those things together? My recommendation: create the function of a leader that is responsible for data and analytics. Even it's part of IT, that's okay. But make a data and analytics team part of your business. Assign a leader to that organization. Make sure that this new organization, that you don't need maybe to hire people outside, maybe it's a matter of transferring people who are spread out to some areas, consolidate in that area, and make sure that the business understands that, the IT people understand that the new organization is not there to take their power, but to do things that were not done before because there was not focus, there was not someone in charge, there was not accountability to make data usable for the company. Explore the idea of centers of excellence. Explore the idea of shared services. Why not create something that's shareable among the credit unions? Sometimes you don't compete in the same market. Why not share something like that among credit unions? Or at least try to create the concept of shared services inside your business that. And make sure that the people who are dealing with data analytics, they are well integrated with business, very strong partnership with IT, and that they have a budget, that they are assigned a responsibility, and they have the accountability to make it happen. Okay? So, recommendations to every one of you. Try to become a doer. Don't wait. Don't wait too much. World's not going to be perfect. Try to get your hands dirty as soon as you can. Try to make some things happen. Deliver some quick wins for the business. If you deliver some quick wins, you start getting respect. Getting respect allows you to try to do more, to be more audacious, to be bold. So try to be a doer, not a watcher, not a follower. Try to innovate your analytics portfolio. Do some things simpler as you learn, but try to be bold to do some things as you learn. Try to provoke the business on new possibilities, because technology allows you to do that. Techniques exist, not anything new here. Try to provoke it, to do small pilots or proof of concepts that you can see the benefit, and then you can roll out that in a better level. Expand the usage of decision-making and automation to part of your process. Look at some process there that you can say, hey, if I put a new application here, if I have this data, yeah, maybe that part of the process can be eliminated, or I can lower the time here to produce a result from hours to minutes. When I was at Equifax, we purchased a new solution, new analytics solution from IBM. We had one process there that took 25 hours to execute. Was to compute the scores, large volumes, so it took 24 hours. And I made a decision to purchase that solution. I purchased that, we implemented with a lot of resistance internally. And all of a sudden, that process that took 25 hours, we start to get results in 15 minutes. The payoff was a month. We had a return on investment in a month, just in that process. But you had no idea how hard it was to implement that and to make the people change to use the new solution. Okay? It was a lot of automation that we put in place, and we save money. And sometimes you have to be to take those decisions. That if you do it right, with understanding what your steps, you might be able to bring results so much faster to your business. You're going to have the credibility that you are a doer. And challenge your architects. Challenge the IT people. It's so funny when you talk to some people in IT, they say, no, I'm too busy. No. Challenge them. Say, hey, we need that. Especially if you're not part of IT. Challenge them to do some things different. Challenge in order to look at new possibilities of new vendors, of revamping what you have. Because what you have today might work for a few years. Sometime in the future, you need to change some of the design, some of the way that you think. So it's a matter of keeping up with what's happening in the market. Don't rest in laurels because you might become irrelevant very, very, very soon. Okay? Make things happen analytics. For me, that's a way that you can help your business, that you can drive results. Think of the process, of technology, of the data, but of all, think about the people that you are leading, people that are under your management, or people that you're going to be influencing to new solutions that you're going to be driving for them. Okay? I have some research I have written since I came to Gartner. I joined the company last July, and as a research director, a month ago, I was promoted to managing vice president, and now I'm leading a new team that's called Office of the CDO. And the office of the CDO at Gartner has one mission: making data analytics leaders to succeed. Some of them, we're going to make them chief data officers. Some of them, they're already chief data officers, and we are talking to them what's next in their career, how they're going to be CEOs one day, how they're going to be COOs one day. So thank you so much for having me here. And now I open for a few questions. Okay. I can understand, but not the whole. Oh, I have a first question before you ask yours. Was my accent very hard to understand? Or?
No.
Okay.
Can you tell us more about?
Okay, put the microphone here.
Can you tell us more about the process or the group you're leading?
The group I'm leading.
Yeah. How do you enable them to be there?
Okay, the group I'm leading, they are a global organization. Other Gartner analysts that are spread out through the world: Europe, Latin America, United States, and Asia. And I'm putting the strategy in place today. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be writing content for chief data officers. That's our number one priority. Gartner, we have a business model that you subscribe to our research and you can access documents. So the majority of our time, we write those documents. Number two, we have conferences. And next week in London, and 3 weeks from this week in Texas, we're going to be having our first CDO day in London and in Texas. We're going to have a full day, part of our analytics and enterprise information management conference, a 1 day dedicated to chief data officers. We're going to be putting in place chief data officers from Europe, there in London, chief data officers from North America and Latin America, to discuss them, everything related to selling data governance to the board, metrics to use to lead their organizations, staffing priorities. And another thing that we do, our customers, they have access to us over the phone. So I talk to at least 10 companies a week over the phone. My team does the same thing, sometimes 20 customers a week. We guide them through that journey to become more data-driven. So basically, those are the three things we do. We write research, we go to conference and meet customers, and we talk to them over the phone to guide them through those journey. Make sense? Huh?
Do you have any prerequisites for someone to enroll in those things?
No, just being a customer. Any more questions?
Hi.
Hi, where are you?
Here, on your right side.
Okay.
My name is Himanshu Gupta. I'm a First Tech Federal Credit Union. So I really like one of your slides about the decision automation, because previously we talked about data gathering, process automation, reports automation, analytics automation, but decision automation, that's something you bring in that is quite new. So as everybody is familiar with Gartner Magic Quadrant, so what do you think? Can you give a little bit insight on this decision automation, and which tool do you think is best in market right now?
Okay. I'm going to be very, very sincere with you. My group, the team that I lead, we do not get involved with technology vendors. We are not involved with Magic Quadrants. I personally don't care about technology vendors. Because for me, they are one part of the component to make things happen, but they're not the end. When we talk about decision automation, you can rely on a vendor or you can build your own engine. Okay? Depending on what you're trying to do, I think it's very, very hard to depend on one vendor to provide you a tool for that. It will require a lot of customization and adaptation. Might be very, very expensive. I've seen some demonstrations from vendors that they are trying to make the adaptation, the customization for the decision management initiative very easy on their tools. my guidance would be, try to define what you're trying to achieve, what process. When you have that defined, see if you have a vendor that can deliver that for you, or at least at a minimum cost of customization. And if you notice that the cost of customization is too much, maybe you have to build your solution from scratch. But when I mean build from scratch, doesn't mean that you have to build 100%. Maybe you can get some components that's going to be folded in. It's going to be a better time to market. When I was working in a company in San Francisco named ServSource, we needed to do some reporting for our customers. And we thought, okay, should we write our reporting tools because we are a software company, or should we partner with someone else? We decided to partner with Good Data, and we had an agreement with Good Data. Good Data was providing kind of a white label solution for us, part of our report. So it was a commercial agreement that we did. Okay, so it really, really depends. So try to gather the requirements, and then you look for vendors, or look if you're going to do by yourself. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yep. My friend from Patelco. Hold on. Yes, thank you.
Will the in-memory database help us to flash back to some point in time to learn from our previous mistakes or something like that? So, or is it only for real-time analytics?
Can you repeat?
Will the in-memory database that you talked about be useful only for real-time decision making, or will it be useful to learn from look backwards and see like what happened at some previous point in time?
No. If you have the capacity, you can bring as much data as you can and to use in the in-memory. You have to understand, in-memory sometimes it costs very, very hard. Okay. Even if you talk about solutions like Teradata or IBM Netezza or Exadata, they are great, but they cost a lot of money. So sometimes you have to be really careful on how to use that. The rule is, if you have capacity to invest and bring a lot of historical data, yeah, makes sense to bring everything enfolded into those kind of solutions. Okay? Yes?
We have one more question.
One more question for you?
Yes.
We'll talk later if it takes a long time. Okay. Yes.
Mario, I very much enjoyed your presentation.
Thank you.
Obrigada. Question, one of your slides referenced IBM Watson Analytics. Can you tell us what's going on in that space and things that they're learning and that we all can learn?
Yeah. I'm going to tell you public information. I'm not tell you any secret here from what I have seen. IBM is trying to transition a lot as a company. They foresee that Watson is a turning point on their company. Okay? It's being put a lot of organization, very expensive people are being deployed on that Watson team. They are being very cautious. They're not selling Watson like how they sell servers or how they sell software. They're being very, very cautious as of this point. They're engaged in a few proof of concept pilots because everything is very, very new to them. What I see the best usage of Watson and tools like that is like it's not they are on a stage that they are not just going to replace human beings. The best use of Watson will be to use Watson or similar tools with a bunch of people like data scientists or business analysts that can use the power of that. So it's a platform that is still under construction. And not only IBM, Google has invested a lot of money on that, Microsoft as well. All those companies are foreseeing, hey, what we can do with software today, we can do a lot because the cost of computing has gone so down that they're now going to be able to put a lot of intelligence in the software. Hardware can deliver on that. Okay, so that's why I say that the next few years is going to be very, very exciting to use Watson type of applications in call center, in medical decision, for loan approvals, where you have a lot of data that needs to be streamlined and to give context for a better decision process. Okay, we're done? Or the gentleman?
When you're consulting with companies that are looking at the new and shiny that's coming up, how often do you have them go back and reassess their data maturity model to be able to say, where are you as a company, and are you even ready for the new technology?
Sure. That's my first recommendation. Before you start doing anything, create a baseline. Assess where you are. That's my first recommendation I always tell our customers. Before you go on this journey, do this assessment to understand where you are. Then define where you want to be in the next 2-3 years. Then you create that data strategy that you take there. And as you go throughout time, regularly assess what is happening. Assess how your data maturity is happening. So it's very, very important before you start anything, create this baseline of where you are. And guess what? Even very, very powerful companies, they have data problems. It's amazing. Remember when we were at ServSource, the majority of our customers were the large technology companies in the world. And they had so many data problems that they sent us for us to fix that for them. So it's not a privilege if you have a data problem. No, every company has a data problem. Some have realized that, and they're doing something to improve the quality of our data and to apply better analytics. But again, it's a journey, yes, and it starts with understanding where you are, where you're going to be, and creating that path. Right? Done?
That's all. Good questions.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mario.
Thank you so much.